It's a Living the Dream podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Sam.
I stole his line.
He did.
All right, let's get this going.
And that's all right, because it's been a minute since we've had old Josh on the podcast. He's either been Peter Bilton or...
Man, it's a busy time of year for us at work.
Yeah. So he hadn't been here a whole lot. So we've had to improvise.
Hey, that's not bad, though.
No, it's not.
We're fixing to figure out what they've been improvising
That's
on.
what I'm saying. So we're going to talk about future endeavors and the living the dream future, because I think we're going to try and get a little more serious with the old living the dream. Not too serious. No, just mind you, we're still blue collar, and there's only so serious you can get in the blue collar trade without being accused of having a stick up your ass. And ain't nobody like that. But yeah, we're trying to find new endeavors, new people, and I think the living the dream going forward is more of the it's promoting the blue collar future.
Talking about us and just our bullshit is not. I'm not gonna say not taking off like we had planned it. We never really had a plan, to be honest.
It really didn't. We didn't have any plan whatsoever.
We got some new leads, and it's things that we think could really help you guys with your fields, and people that could really help you out, and their programs that could really help you out. So that's kind of what we're going for. And Sam's fixing to tell us, and me, I'm just as as new to you guys as you guys are, because I haven't been here either.
So here a couple of months ago, I had a revisit with Mr. Hatfield. If you guys have been a long-time listener, then you'll know him from the live switch episode. We kind of gave him a rash of shit, and I will retract that, because we weren't exactly in a situation to make an accurate judgment of his software and its capabilities. I mean, it's just it is what it is. But again, that was our perception as a blue collar group, and it was what we were able to utilize at that point in time. And where we were at, we were going
to get closer to the mic.
Oh, it really is that hard to see?
I can't hear you. I can hear you because I'm right next to you, but I can't hear you.
Oh, no shit. Okay, well, that's never been a problem for me.
I was like, what the fuck going on? Yeah.
What's going on? Okay. I can't hear him.
I can hear you now.
Is that better now? Okay.
Yeah.
So what we found out was that we were in a metal box. But on the flip side of that, that's where I'll say 75% of the blue collar community is you're going to be in a metal box and trying to use that software.
I'm in the dirt.
Well, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the blue collar community is in a metal box. You got this guy over here; he's out in the dirt and the elements.
The other 50% of us.
Right, the other 50%.
I can't do math.
But so he reached back out to us because he didn't, I don't know what it was. It was COVID. They're based out of Asheville, North Carolina. That's another thing. They had just gotten hit by a hurricane, so their entire town had been wiped the fuck out. So I give them a mulligan, and so they reached back out to us and was like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing like a follow up, kind of where we're at, where you're at, blah blah blah?" I was like, "Absolutely, let's revisit this," because I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like giving anybody like a crap review, because
is it well known where we're at to our listeners, just location wise?
We're in Oklahoma. I just
didn't know if that
that's basically the rub of it, is we're in Oklahoma.
Yeah. So like we go back, I don't mean to interrupt Sam, but we go back, like we just said a little bit ago, we're kind of winging it here. This is something we decided to do for fun. We thought people could relate to. Now, it didn't take off quite like we had hoped or thought it might. So we're getting into new ventures, new people, new ideas, new technologies, things that we could introduce to maybe people that don't know about it.
Right. Well, and we got so I will give James Hatfield a lot of credit for exposing me to new opportunities and new ventures for content.
Yeah. And I agree 100%. It's kind of where I was going with this.
Yeah.
So like we were saying, we're small time. This is no script, no, nothing like that. We're blue collar guys. We do this on our free time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're winging it. So
100%.
when we come on here and we tell you that we've got guys reaching out from us, from North Carolina or from these other manufacturing companies we're fixing to talk about, and we're from Oklahoma, to us that's a big deal.
Oh, 100%.
We don't. I'm sure you guys know we don't have big listener group or followers. I mean, this is big time stuff to us, and we really think this is things. These are things that we haven't heard of until now.
Yeah. And
we talk to these guys, and they're like, they're pushing to get the word out, and so to us, it's things that if anybody is listening to this, it's things you guys could use too, and we're just trying to pass it along.
Yeah, well,
so that's kind of what Sam's talking. We're trying to point this podcast to is making everybody easier, getting the word out on things.
Well, to our tens of listeners, actually 20s of listeners.
Hey, we're moving up.
20s of listeners. So to our 20s of listeners that are out there, this podcast never really. Honestly, we never intended this shit to go past 3 rednecks drinking beer around a dining room table where it never intended to be.
To anybody listening, I'm just going to throw it out there that Sam is the guy for this. He's the guy that's got the equipment. He's the guy spending the hours to edit it and to, listen to it. He's putting the time, the effort in. There's been a handful of guys here doing it with Sam, kind of off and on, like he mentioned with me earlier. I've been out for work. The guys who initially started this with Sam, life's come up. They're getting married. They've got, they're busy.
Yeah.
Now they're not local because we've moved and that kind of thing. So, you guys have seen a lot of different faces here. The one constant is Sam. So props to Sam. He's the one that's got his heart and soul into this, doing it for the few people that are listening. At no fault to him, but so that's where it goes. It's to Sam. He says we as in all of us, but he's the guy that's putting the time and the effort in.
Well, I appreciate that, but at the end of the day, this is a blue collar podcast, and it's whoever sits down in front of these microphones. You're a part of
100%. It's blue collar as far as the field goes.
So we're. The whole principle of this is to shed light on the blue collar the blue collar life, period. And what I've tried to do is and I talked about this with Shawn in the Cooper Gear and Manufacturing podcast, the previous episode here. Go give it a watch, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want. The whole principle of this podcast was to expose either today's youth, somebody that's listening to this podcast, to maybe something that they had no idea was blue collar or was an opportunity for a career.
And if you don't want to listen to us, go watch Micro videos.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that obviously Micro's got tons of backers,
millions,
but there's also a big group that don't back Mike because they have the aspect of, well, we don't get paid to advertise. That guy, my honest opinion is not doing it for the money.
No.
If you want to know about the blue collar style and what's good for those, what any of these fields need, go listen to Micro.
Yes.
Look into his scholarships he does. I mean, that is one guy who is really spreading the gospel.
Yeah.
It's not one field specific.
No. It's any blue collar field whatsoever, and even the fields that he does highlight are not even considered to be blue collar. Like, most of what Micro focuses on are just
in quotations dirty jobs.
Yeah.
And that's that was his show, but in reality it was more than just a show name.
Yeah.
It was the jobs that nobody wanted to do.
Exactly. It was everything that made what you and I have as a comfortable life. It's everything that made that life possible is what Micro highlighted. And he has since taken that and turned it into an opportunity for growth for the labor community, for the blue-collar jobs, for the jobs that nobody actually realized was that important until they started prophesying that the only way that you could make a living in life was to get a college degree.
Well, it's like he said, we have told an entire generation that's the only way to make it.
But like Joe, like Josiah and I have talked about, like me and Josh have talked about, like me and Shawn in the last episode have talked about. Shawn and I both have degrees. Neither of us use those degrees in our current way of income. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So Shawn has used his accounting degree to help him to grow the Cooper Gear and Manufacturing Group.
And see, it's different though when you get guys like that who have degrees, and they may not be using them, but they're not maybe what normal would consider blue collar, but they understand the blue collar. Their business is to help the blue collar. They're backing the blue collar, and then you get white collar guys who just piss on the blue collar.
Right.
So
right. Well,
so there is a difference, and you got to kind of.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too is and that's where we're trying to balance the, shame on white collar and back the blue collar guys. We're trying to balance that out because there is a balance there where you have to have those guys that understand and will champion the blue collar careers, but have the knowledge and understanding to promote it.
So and we've got to have both. It's just like Mike said. We're raising a generation where we're influencing, teaching, persuading, whatever the word might be you want to use. Where white collar is the way to go, and we're lacking in the blue collar.
Well, yeah, we're running out of new people coming into blue collar jobs.
We need both.
Yeah,
and it's being taught as we need, the one.
Yeah.
You go here and you make more money, or you go here and you.
But it's not true, though.
No, it's not. But
see, so and again, not to keep throwing back to the previous episode, but we talked about that very same topic is that like Cooper Gear and Manufacturing, they are offering an internship program to where you can, in your junior and senior year of high school, you can come out of school, go into a manufacturing environment and learn a skill and a trade that will be guaranteed income from now until the time you die, because you will always be able to find a job doing what they do in their facility.
So are they going to work with so this is kind of what we talked about in the beginning. This is one of the episodes I wasn't in.
Catch him up to.
So I'm going to ask a question that these guys want to know also.
Okay.
I don't know where these guys are located, but is this going to be a deal like we're in Tulsa? So is this going to be a deal where this manufacturing company works for, say, Tulsa Technology, and they hire interns right out, or whatever trade school has a manufacturing or engineering maybe, or machining, I guess would be. Is this a company that's going to, how are they doing their interns? Are they, right out of high school, or are they hiring people who maybe have went to machining tech school?
So these are, Cooper Gear Manufacturing. So there's two companies right now, one of which I can back for personally, the other one I can back for based on the previous podcast. Cooper Gear Manufacturing has worked out with a Department of Labor, and they have a certified apprenticeship program that they are doing with the Department of Labor that will allow them to bring interns into their company and teach them and give them the skills to have a career from the time they graduate high school forward.
So they may not be working directly with tech schools, but this is kind of where LinkedIn may roll into place.
Yes. This is where, if you haven't listened to the episode, but you should listen to the episode because there's so many good nuggets from that episode. It's probably one of the most exciting episodes that I've produced thus far. There's a lot of really good nuggets in that episode. Go listen to that, come back, finish this episode.
We'll drop the link.
There you go. Link in the comment below. They did an expose at a local fair to where they showed their capabilities and the fact that they were using robotics to automate their machining process and to do lights out operation and stuff like that. And it was fantastic. Well, there was a local robotics program at the high school where they're located.
Even the high school I went to, small town, had that robotics class.
Exactly. This is a small town of like 2,000 people is where they're at. And they so they showed interest. They brought like 14 kids in for like a day and showed their interest. And they were like 2 or 3 kids that were really excited about it. Well, they brought them back for the summer camp and had them to where there was 2 weeks where the kids were there, and each week they were there, they earned like $250 a piece to learn a trade and skills. So I'm like, dude, this is
right off the bat they're paying you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So one of the tags that we put in the previous episode was earn while you learn. So these kids are.
And I've talked about. I mean, it's not just this job. There's so many of these, blue collar jobs and companies are doing that. I've talked about it many times on here with the local cat dealer.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get and this is outside of vocational school too. That's the other thing too, is this is entirely separate from a vocational school, but it's a program that Cooper Gear has set up with the Department of Labor to where they can bring these kids out of high school. The kids that are like fuck English, fuck mathematics and science. I'm over this shit. All I want to do is do something cool. And they come out of high school and they're like, oh, this is fantastic. They're earning high school credit. They're learning a career. This is literally, they're building their future going forward by participating in this program. So, this is a small family-owned company. Like, they've been family-owned for 30 years. Like, the guy that was on the podcast is literally the son of the owner of Cooper Gear Manufacturing. So it was fantastic to have him on. But it was just one of those opportunities that it was happenstance. Like everybody has circumstance. Well, I always call it like happenstance because it just happened to work out. And so it was happenstance that they were at this trade show and these kids came up and showed interest, and then they developed this program. So it's an opportunity to go forward and build a future. So the company that I work for, and if you're on LinkedIn, if you're not on LinkedIn, you can find out. We have teamed up with Tulsa Technology Company, Tulsa Technology Center, and have started pulling interns from the industrial maintenance program, which is a new program for Tulsa Technology Centers. And we've started pulling them in, and we have 2 phenomenal candidates that have come out of that program that are the future of maintenance and honestly, we're likely the future of CNC repair and calibration. So, this is tying it together as outside of vocational school and inside of vocational school. We have a local vocational school that is willing to identify the need and the necessity for growth in that market, and they were willing to set up a program to move it forward to be like, hey, we see your need. Let's develop some people to fill that need.
So I've got an important side note here. What Sam is saying is awesome information, and anybody who is in these vocational schools and is going to have a real issue and relate to what I'm fixing to say knows what he's saying is spot on. I'm going to touch base on this just a little bit, and this goes for any trade. This goes for any company who's working with a vocational school. This is just my generation, so to speak, issue here. You're going to have kids coming into these, and I'm talking to you guys. Sam already knows what I'm fixing to say here.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have kids who are 100% want nothing more than to go out in these opportunities and take these and do what they can to move forward. And these kids that I'm talking about are going to have some major heartache because, they go to these trade schools and they can't move forward as quick as they can, or they're not moving forward as quickly as they are told they might be able to, or they're not making the money they're told they might be able to. And
you're still making more than you would if you had a college degree.
Well, so I'll tell you this too. It's changing. Sam's an older guy, and that's kind of why. And that's not me just trying to poke at Sam.
That's what
that's
it
me
is.
trying to relate to the. If there's anybody younger listening to this, I graduated high school in 2019. I graduated Votech in 2019. Went straight to work for the cat dealer. Was making an X amount of dollars. I left there too.
4th of July episode last year. Go give it a watch.
Full backstory on me. So to speed up the story here, 2.5, 3 years ago I left there, and one of my main reasons was, and this is not just a Caterpillar deal. This is a company problem today. I've spoken with many people who have had this issue. So they hire me in an X amount of dollars. They don't want to, move me up because I lack training that they want, or, whatever it may be. So then 2 years down the road after hiring in with these guys, I'm still battling to get my own, move up the ladder and my own certificates, and they're hiring interns now, that are doing the same things I was doing 2 years ago, and they're hiring them in now at more money than they're paying me, and I'm training the guys. So, kind of what I was going back to is, you guys that are young, just coming out of school, you're going to have a heartache. It may be where you don't believe you're moving forward as fast. You don't believe you're making the money you're making. I'm going to vouch for these companies. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of students and kids that are right there with you. They're your age. And as wrong as it is, they're seeing this vocation school and trade schools and tech schools and whatever you want to call it. The only thing they see this as is an excuse to miss half of a high school day.
Yeah.
So it's a blow-off. They're not learning anything from it. They don't give two shits.
Yeah.
So when you take these big companies and you guys are taking it as, and no offense to you, I was the same way, but you're taking it as these companies are, we're peons, we're not moving up like we should be. These big companies are having to weed out the people who really want it, who really want to be there, and the guys like Toes who are, they're there for the income, not the outcome.
Great fucking slogan right there. There for the income, not for the outcome.
And it will take time, and I will tell you guys right now, I absolutely hate saying that because I am the most impatient person you will ever meet. 100%. He'll tell you.
I'll back him up on that. I'm the same freaking way.
I know it sucks, but that is one thing you have got to give these big companies. They have got to weed out the bad, the good from the bad.
Yeah.
So give them a little bit of slack on that. Yeah. And I'm not typically one to vouch for the big companies
or for patience.
Yeah. But I just know that's one thing I struggled with. So
absolutely.
Give it thought.
Oh, and that is an 100% fact. You've got to give it a little bit of time. And I know everybody's like, oh, I don't have time. I've got bills. I've got I'm trying to get my own apartment. I'm trying to buy my own car, blah, 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 whatever.
I'm right there with you. I mean, I get it. I'm 24 years old. I got a house, more vehicles in the driveway than I need. But at the same time, it's like, and that's another thing, I'm not going to say guys and gals, my age. And this is probably something that even you dealt with,
I'm 40 years old and still trying to figure out how to pay for shit.
Well, my point here is, it's the young generation, and I feel like anybody who's been blue collar, and not even maybe blue collar, but anybody who has had to work for what they've got, say, motherfucker. Oh, it's seeing 40-year-olds when you're 20, and you're wanting what they've got, and you don't realize it's taken these guys 40 years. It's taken these guys 3 jobs. It's taken these guys 20 years with a company.
Okay.
I am just as guilty of it.
So, and I'm gonna expound upon that because I literally just saw something today that was like inspirational as shit. Because it was, don't always try and keep up with Joe Smo, because you may look at them and their hustle and be like, oh my God, look at them. They've got 3 excavators, a trailer, and this brand new F450, and they're killing it in life. But you have absolutely no idea exactly how much fucking debt they're in or how much they're struggling paycheck to paycheck. And you said this earlier today, somebody may see this busted ass square body that's sitting behind us right now that's absolutely fucking killer, and they may look at it and be like, oh my God, that dude's broke as shit.
That's the fucking high school kid who cut the exhaust off of it.
Right. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's doing what most guys his age are not able to do, which is have your own fucking house, have a job, have shit sitting in the barn that, yeah, fine, you don't fucking drive it, but you can afford it, okay?
And guys, take this as motivation. Do not take this as I'm bragging on what I've got by any means, because believe me, we talked about this also. Yeah. One of my biggest pet peeves is a one-upper or somebody who brags on the money they make. I am all for anybody who makes good money. I'm all for people who can afford the lifestyle they want. They have the toys. By all means, I'm proud of you. Bro, go get it.
Well, and that's
I'm not one to one up. Like the one up in stories is not me. So don't take this as that.
No, and that's what I'm trying to get at here is that don't look at somebody else and be like, man, I wish I was there. I'm not doing as well as them. Bullshit. You are too. If you're able to pay your bills every fucking paycheck and you make it month to month and you're not homeless, you're doing something right.
I'm just going to say this, and I'm just using myself as an example. Anybody can get up and work the hours I work, make the money I make, do the things I do to have what I have. Point blank. If you can't understand that, and you take that offense to that, you've got a personal problem you need to look at. Because I am not one to boast or brag about anything I've got or what I do, and this guy will vouch for it 100%.
That's right.
But if anybody can do the things I do to have what I have. And there's guys plenty of people out there doing more than both of us who have more.
Fucking truth.
And we can't sit here and hate on those guys. It goes both ways. I am 100% pro, do you, man. Get after it. But the jealousy thing in the blue collar world it doesn't vibe.
No, because so we'll drop a Kid Rock reference here. You get what you get in, and people get what they deserve.
Yep.
There you go.
Quit looking at it as you're here for the income, not the outcome.
That's right. Now, I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna get what you put into life, and that's it.
And it's a quote I've always heard too. If you don't chase your dreams, you're gonna work for somebody who did, and you're gonna build theirs.
There you go.
That's not the exact quote, but kind of a rough.
It's pretty close though.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. If you don't chase your dreams, you're gonna work for somebody that is.
Yep.
And
believe me, I am. My freaking boss is an absolute hustler, and I love the guy. I mean, more than anything, he is fucking awesome. But he is. He was a hustler. He went out and got it. He deserves everything he's got.
Yeah.
I'm the peon. I'm the mechanic. I get it. But
and
my boss is not one of those fucking brag on. He's got money, shows it.
He's
my boss
as
is
shit.
Like good as gold.
He really is.
Yeah. So
at some point he's gonna be either in that chair or a chair in between us. So. He will. I'm gonna harp on him until he does.
I've talked to him.
I haven't talked to him since the truck show, but I've talked to him at least about that. And
I need to talk to him and just get this shit to the shop and be like, all right.
Hey, we're mobile. Yeah. All of this shit moves. It don't matter. And I told him that too. So it's wherever he has the time, I have the availability.
That dude is a hustling sumbitch.
Hey, but that's why he is where he is. Yeah.
He deserves every bit of it.
Yeah.
Even now, that dude won't. I'll be at the shop working until 9 o'clock on the Peterbilt, and he'll be there when I leave.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's in his 50s. He's got more grandkids than I can count. I mean, this dude is he's set for life.
Well, but
he is still hustling.
But he's still hustling. He's not. He
has absolutely zero quit.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Everybody sits here and they go like, "Oh, well, if I just own my own business, then I wouldn't have to work as hard." Bullshit.
If there's one guy you guys need to talk to about that, this is the guy, because he did not inherit it.
That's exactly why I wanted to talk to him.
He has started it from the bottom.
Yeah. So you can't, and everyone that I have talked to that owns their own business, there's Brad Ray. I've talked a ton of shit about him, probably in my personal life, but that dude has his own business and he has hustled. He's worked where I work and did his business on the side, and then he just quit because he had more money that was coming in outside of his 9-to-5 job that he had, but because the dude hustles, and he still does.
Bottom line is, it comes down to, if you want it, get off your ass and go get it.
Yeah, 100%. That's it. That's all it comes down to. If you want it, go get it. Period. That's probably not where where this episode was intended to go.
No, we need to touch bases on some LinkedIn stuff, some live switch stuff.
So we'll circle back here. The worst phrase that I've ever heard in my entire life, because the Biden stupid press conference bitch used to use that, but
I won't say it again. I didn't even know that. I just said some shit.
So I got my chops busted about it whenever Biden was still president about that, because I said circle back, and they were like, "Oh, fucking liberal," and I was like, No. It's just
the main idea of this podcast was for Sam to touch base with me and anybody who may not have been in touch with the recent podcast. Anybody who wants to see Jolene, the Peterbilt I've been building, we've got a podcast. We actually did it 4th of July.
We're working on it.
It is in progress of being edited. It's a full walk around of that truck. Plenty of pictures of where it started in process and the way the truck is now.
It's a phenomenal transformation. That'll be on our YouTube side for Livin the Dream podcast. We're also going through a branding change. He doesn't know about this.
This is news to me.
He has no idea about this, but we're logo, branding, all that's changing. Still living the dream, but a little different flavor behind it.
I'm assuming this goes as to us moving forward.
Yeah, no, it's a us moving forward. It's a legitimate branding, and yeah, we're trying to make something out of this. But so we're gonna go back a little bit to I had a podcast, the Live Switch podcast, where we talked to was it James Hatfield?
Sorry, which one?
Hatfield. The Live Switch?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So, so we had Mr. Hatfield on the podcast, and he talked about his software. And he also talked about just the entrepreneur aspect of it. And the guy really is like the embodiment of an entrepreneurial spirit. Joe, I know if you listen to this that you can totally appreciate that, because you embody the entrepreneur spirit as well. It's just anything that crosses your path, like, ooh, I can make money off of that. But Mr. Hatfield's a little more focused than you, just saying. Shots fired. So we had him on the podcast previously. It wasn't a super successful podcast. Actually, it was a horribly unsuccessful podcast, not to downgrade it. But his staff reached out to us, because literally they reached out to us in the middle of a hurricane disaster. Like, Asheville, North Carolina got fucking devastated. So there was a changing of the guard. There was some different people, staffing, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. So things kind of got lost in the mix. So he reached out to us. I've got a hat in my office that they sent to us as kind of a, hey, sorry about this. You know,
Office, your white collar?
Huh?
office. You're white collar?
I mean,
I'm just
you always
shit.
tell me I sit behind a desk.
Pretty much your normal position right here.
But so I got the Live Switch hat they sent to me, and he sat down with me, and we spent a lot of time just kind of talking over how to grow this, how to make this a better podcast. And he told me to reach out on LinkedIn, which I was like, I've never really pursued it, honestly, because I've always seen it as a job-seeking opportunity, not necessarily a growth. But, you know...
Yeah, secret.
Yeah, but if you think about it, what the fuck are we trying to do? We're trying to find people
Bro,
to...
I'm just trying to pay my bills and eat bean burritos.
Well, but as far as a podcast, what are you trying to do? You're trying to find people that are successful in the community.
Trying to retire.
That...
I'm just fucking with you guys. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to retire too, but
you're close.
But yeah. But we're trying to find people in the blue collar community that are successful, that are moving forward, that are growing and striving moving forward. So
it's motivation to you guys, but at the same time, it's things that we think you might find useful and could use to make your lives easier. It's kind of a 2-in-1 deal.
So I got in
from two very different backgrounds.
I got a leadership opportunity here recently that took me from the guy turning wrenches to an opportunity to learn and grow, to lead the people that are either, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to downgrade anyone.
You basically took on a role of turning wrenches to a role of teaching the interns.
So
it's not a downgrade.
I wanted, I had the opportunity to go from just the guy that was turning wrenches to taking my talents and skills and teaching them to the people below me.
So at CAT, the guys that took in the interns and shit like that, they had to have a mentorship training class.
Okay.
I say that. They were supposed to. I didn't have it. They were just paying the kids more. Okay, so let's touch back onto that. I'm sure this is not just a CAT problem, but when I talk back into another heartache of they hire me in 2 years later, they're hiring kids in at more than I make and I'm teaching them. You know what else they're doing? Using my fucking tools. That's fucked up. If you're a company and you're hearing this, make better decisions, because the guys like me are getting fucked, and you're wondering why they're leaving.
Yeah, spending 3 and 4.
I don't care how many millions you got in the bank account, or how often you're on the lake. That's fucked up, and you need to do something about it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your business is. Take care of your people that you got, and you wouldn't have to worry about fucking trying to find people.
Yeah.
Everybody complains about how hard it is to find a blue-collar guy, and how many people we need to hire and how fast we need to hire them. Take care of what you got.
Well, that's like, it's probably been a year or so, whatever you posted, the whole grass is always greener, but sometimes that grass is on septic tank.
Yeah, it's on the fucking septic tank side of the fence. Man, I understand there's always going to be a need for blue-collar guys. If there wasn't, I wouldn't be here, he wouldn't be here. I mean, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But I don't feel bad for these companies when they're constantly talking about how they can't find the help and they can't find the work. And they're shitting on the guys they got that are busting their ass to do it, and they're hiring these fucking toes to do it. Take care of your people, man. I mean, and I sincerely mean that, because I've been there.
No, it's 100%. You've got it. You have got to take care of the people. And I know anybody blue collar
is going to back me on that.
Yeah. Well, and this is something that I'm going to throw out there, and personal or otherwise, you can take it for what you want, but don't wait until they quit to make them feel like they're needed.
Yeah, don't wait till they're on the way out the door to offer them a raise.
There you go.
Yeah, because I'm gone. I've done it.
Yeah.
More than once.
Once I have decided that I am done with your philosophy and your culture, I'm done.
Yeah, I've done it more than once.
So,
and you should too.
Take care
as far as I'm concerned. Fuck them.
Yeah. Now, well, and make sure that you've explored the avenues. Like I know you've left a couple of companies, but it was one of those deals to where you were like, "Hey, This is what I
Don't
want.
quit a job unless you got a job.
Yeah, don't do that bullshit.
I moved up. Don't just bail out because the guy on the podcast said I can bail. Yeah, don't do that shit.
Now we're, for all intents and purposes, this is a joke.
You better have a job found. That's another. I was always raised to if you're gonna quit a job, you better have another one found.
Because guess what? Whether you have a job or not, those bills are going to show up tomorrow.
Yeah, that shit doesn't stop.
No, not at all. So, let's see. Where are we at? So, the company that I work with, they have developed a relationship with a Total Technology program. And we've created an internship opportunity. And it's been phenomenal. Now, granted, we vet out the people that are coming to be interns. We make sure that, we sit down and we interview them just like you would for a job interview. And we find out whether or not you're a good fit for our culture, for our company, or, what we have going forward. So it's not like, just because you sign up for this program, you're automatically going to be guaranteed a job. No. You still have to work for that opportunity, and you still have to strive to go forward. So there's that, and then I'm sure that Cooper Gear Manufacturing is going to be the same way going forward. Is that they're going to find out that we have people that are interested, and we're going to have to filter out the ones that are looking for an opportunity to, as Josh said earlier, skip out on school, or a true opportunity to move forward and to grow a career. So, potty break. So, there's all of those situations that come to light in life, and you've really got to kind of look at it and you've got to figure out what you're going to do going forward. And I'm always an advocate for if you're in a situation in life to where, especially if you're living at home or if you don't have as many bills in life, that you can take those opportunities. And even if you do, sometimes you get into those situations to where you got to take a step back in life. Okay, you're not going to be able to continue moving forward at your current salary, okay? So fine, your first job was you worked at McDonald's and you went to college for...
That is not a fucking career job.
No, it's not. But, so, okay, fine. So your first job was you started working at McDonald's and you got a degree in underwater basket weaving.
What?
Okay, so fine. Okay, that's where you're at. But you may have to take a little pay cut. Are you empty, sir? Another one? Hold on, we have to step into the cabinet of adult beverages. That was crispy. So sometimes you have to take a step back and be like, all right, well, I may have to go from making $15 an hour to making $12 an hour because I went from McDonald's to working at a real job.
McDonald's is not... I'm going to upset some feelings here. McDonald's and shit like that is not a career job. You should not be working there as an adult. And if you don't take my word for it, go listen to Clinton Anderson.
Right.
If you don't take my job because I'm a pissant 24-year-old who ain't doing great, go listen to him. He's retired at 40. Retired by 40, that's his thing.
It's 45, I think is what it was, but still.
Yeah, but he's been retired for...
he's now 50-something and he's been retired for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, so if you don't like what I have to say about it, and we've mentioned that podcast on there before.
100%, yeah. No, and Clinton Anderson will tell you 100%.
He doesn't give a fuck. If you think we're fucking rude...
No.
And he ain't rude. He's just point blank. That's how it is.
He just lays it out, okay? The reason that
Reality,
he is...
If you can't listen to us and you can't listen to Clinton Anderson, you'll never make it in a blue-collar field.
No.
And I will be the bearer of bad news to you on there.
Just across the board. If you can't...
Go back to Mickey D's.
Yeah, if you can't tolerate us or
and
Clinton
it's just
Anderson...
like Clinton Anderson said, Nope, no problem with the kid at Mickey D's. I need somebody to make the fries and the burgers.
That's right. That's right.
This is not a career job.
But but that's not where you're going to be for the rest of your life. Okay.
Unless you're from here.
I don't think here is. I don't think Oklahoma is the state of.
Well, we're 50th in education now.
But we're still doing better than California in employment.
Well.
But it's one of those things that somebody has to sweep the stalls. Somebody has to make the fries.
Somebody's got to do the shit work.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it is. But you don't have to do that task forever, and that's the thing. Is don't set your goals so fucking low.
It's a generational thing. Think of it that way. In reality, you start a job, say working at McDonald's, hauling the horse shit out of the stalls. You're the kid doing that. You move up.
Yeah.
When you move up, quit thinking about reality is it's laziness, but.
Be the best horseshoe.
There can't be. There's nobody else. The next 15-year-old kid that comes along needs a job. He's going to take that job. It's a generational, and I'm not even going to say generational now. It's a yearly thing.
Yeah.
There will always be kids coming up, as few as and far as they may be. There will be kids coming up who want that opportunity, and to them, it's the biggest life thing that can happen to them.
Dude, the worst thing that I can say about being a part of the millennials, so I would say that you're Gen Z category, and
still sucks.
And
I think worse than a job thing's the dating scene, homie. Fucking whack.
None of it's any better, I can promise you. Millennials are notorious for being absolutely freaking lazy. And Gen Z is notorious for being antisocial and not able to communicate whatsoever. So I don't know what's worse as is being worthless at communicating or just unable to do anything. And I'm strapped into to the millennial category. You're locked into the fucking Gen Z category. And neither one of us fit either of the stereotypes because we were raised by a bunch of Gen X.
Oh, you're Gen Z, or oh, you're a millennial. That's an old fuck. Who raised us, motherfucker?
That's right.
Howdy, who raised this generation?
It's true. Gen X raised me and millennials raised you. So, what do you got to say?
If they got a good comeback, I ain't heard it yet.
That's right. There's not, honestly. So, you've got to... One of the things that I learned in the opportunity that I had available to me was to sit back and look at the generational communication. Because it's not one of those things that... Okay, fine. Millennials are worthless. They don't want to have a job. Gen Z has absolutely no social skills, so they'll never be successful in a career. Gen X is just all they are is career driven, and they'll never do anything and have sympathy for Gen Z or millennials.
They're the ones that can't ever retire yet tell you you're shit because you don't have benefits or retirement.
This is a very true statement. That was one of the things that was brought up in the training course.
Never done that. You guys think I'm some dumb 24-year-old kid. When I tell these fucking kids, if there's any, they're fucking probably not any. If there's any kids that are listening to this podcast,
there is. The majority of our fucking listening market is 24 to 30.
If there is anybody that is listening to this and you're young in this trade, whatever I tell you, I have lived through. This is, like I said earlier, this is not me bragging. This is not me trying to one-up anybody. If you're doing better than me, by God, I hope you are.
Congratulations.
Yeah. To me, this is not a competition. I'm doing what I'm doing. My bills are paid.
Yeah.
If you're doing better, fucking props to you, man.
Right.
Or woman, whoever, whatever.
Right. This is an opportunity to share what we have learned through our life experience.
And we want feedback.
Yeah.
If you guys have something, send us a fucking
if you say we're full of shit,
anything.
something.
Yeah. This is not just us thinking we're right. If you've got a different experience or you agree with us, drop it below. Whether it's a voice text, if you want to FaceTime one of us, if it's a comment, something. let us know.
We'll put the motherfucker on air.
Yeah,
we don't give
not.
a damn.
We are not here to tell you how you should do it or anything. This is not what this is about. So,
no, I've had some humbling experiences recently. Okay, there is
shit every day.
There is a potential that my ass is gonna have to repair something that the OEM manufacturer should have repaired on Monday.
It's gonna be a rough Monday. Tomorrow.
Yeah. So,
as we're shooting this we're behind. This is August 3rd.
Yeah, August 3rd. It's a Sunday. So Monday is tomorrow. So you'll probably see this on the Thursday, which I don't know what fucking date that is. Monday,
I'm not harping on Sam at all for being behind. I'm just saying this is where we're at.
Yeah. A few days from now, you'll see this podcast, and then I will have had to swallow my pride and figure out how to do something that the OEM manufacturer should have done. That's also what separates the men from the boys.
True that.
Is sometimes you have to do the shit that you don't want to do, regardless of what it is. But
that's one thing I've learned in the heavy equipment world. You can't be scared to tear into something. You got to get in it, tear that bitch apart, ask questions if you can. And another thing too, like I've got like Cody, the guy that was, I don't know, he's done a podcast with us since the first one he did, 4th of July last year.
Yeah.
So I love Cody to death. I mean, this dude is like a brother to me, and I'm not talking shit. If he was sitting right here, I'd say the same thing to him. One of my biggest things with Cody. So, as you guys know, me coming up into heavy equipment, working on it, I grew up around it. My dad did it. So, like I said, Dad did it as a living. So, when I was coming up, this truck, prime example. When I was in high school, we built this truck. Me and some buddies, we built this truck. Dad, he always told me, and it was anything at the house. I couldn't get something apart. I'd ask him, hey, can you come give me a hand with this? And he'd come out there and fucking get rough with it, and it'd come right apart. And he's like, you gotta get rough with this shit sometimes. It's nuts and bolts. It's heavy shit. That's all there is to it. You gotta get rough with it.
And it's so funny because it was literally the opposite with me. I was struggling with it and getting rough with the shit, and it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. And then my dad would come out there and like 2.5 seconds, he'd just roll the son of a bitch in there.
That's amazing too. You have a problem with something, walk away from it.
Fucking stupid.
Come right back, the bitch go right back.
Yeah, you just slide right together.
But so anyway, so like I couldn't get something apart.
There's a reason why women love mechanics.
Yeah. Well,
good with their fingers.
I ain't figured that out yet. Anyway, so I'd have a problem with getting something apart. My big fear was breaking it, and it's not like I'm not a big guy by any means. But my dad's like, he'd come out there and he'd rip that bitch apart. And he's like, you just gotta get rough with it, boy.
There's always a force multiplier, okay? You can be rougher with it.
Yeah. So
always.
So anyways, skip forward. We went to work in the cat shop. I went to Votech with Cody. That's how I met Cody. And then we both ended up with Cat because my dad worked there, and he kind of had I'm not going to say he got us hired in a loophole by any means, but he knew who we needed to get in contact with our Votech instructor to get us to job shadow. And that's how we got our foot in the door. Granted, I kind of knew the guys forever.
Sometimes it's not
what you know,
it's who you know.
Yeah. Connections will get you 10 times farther than what you know.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. So,
so
we get in this shop, right? They called Cody and I both when we were still in high school and offered us both jobs. We went in there and we obviously took 2 separate job offers. Like we've talked about this before. Go hit the videos up.
Previous podcast.
He took the college route. I took their on-the-job training route. Anyhow, so Cody ended up working in their CCE side, which is compact construction equipment. So he worked on the skid steers, the backhoes, the small loaders, small rollers, shit like that. I was on the heavy side. I was working on the big shit, the big loaders, the big dozers, the big Arctic trucks, shit like that. Well, it ended up that when I got my bay and Cody got his bay, we were right next to each other in the shop. I mean, we shared a crane, like that type of deal. So Cody would all the time come to me like, man, I can't get this apart. And I'm like, what, do you need to borrow some tools? Or, and as far as tools go, I was a little bit ahead of Cody just because he went to college. I mean, he had things going and I was in the shop. I'm not talking shit by any means. It was just we just took two different paths.
Right.
So I had some things he didn't have. He had some papers I didn't have. So he would come to me and say, "Man, you need a bar specialist." No, I'll figure it. Of course, you know how Cody is. No, I'll figure it out. Now he'd come back over to me a little bit while. I guess I need to borrow that tool. Okay, so I give him the tool. A little while, I just don't know. And I'd go up there and get a hold of that bitch and rip it apart. You'd be like, what the fuck? Man, you gotta get rough with this shit. That's the one thing my dad told me.
Right.
It's nuts and bolts. Get rough with it and get it apart.
Yep.
But I don't remember how we got on that topic. But quit being easy with it. Get that shit tore apart and get it fixed.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's always gonna be those opportunities to where you're gonna get your ass kicked, and there's two ways to handle those ass kickings.
Yeah, I thought I had it figured out in the shop. Now I'm in the field. That's a whole nother world right there.
Yeah. So there's two ways to handle an ass whooping. Okay, you can
put your pants down like Rodney Carrington, because nobody wants to fight a naked guy. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
That's
all right, go with what you're going.
But you can just give up and you can walk away and be like, I can't fix it, or you can ask the right questions. You can go to someone that you know is a field technician or someone that has been down this road and ask them, hey, I need help. I mean, I've talked about this.
Yeah, ask the questions, guys.
Episode 1 talked about this shit. Like, the reason that I am where I am today is because it was 2 months in. They gave me the most complicated and highest focus equipment in the facility, and the shit broke down. And I was like, I have absolutely no idea how to fix this. I had been on the phone with the OEM. I'm like, listen, we're a week and a half out from being able to fix this, and this is what the OEM says that I need to do. I feel like I oversold myself. I am not adequate for this job. What do I need to do? And my boss sat down and told me, you're doing exactly what you need to do. You're asking the right questions, you're accepting the failures, and you're moving forward. Yeah. And I was like, but I'm sucking at life. And they're like, that's what you're supposed to do in this position. Is you're supposed to suck at life, and you're supposed to ask questions, and you're supposed to learn. Yeah. And I'm 8 years into that same position, and I'm still fucking learning shit.
Well, he's the master tech now.
But, yeah, exactly. I went from an A mechanic to a master technician, and I still don't feel like I deserve that position whatsoever, because I still encounter shit to where I'm like, I have no idea how to fix this.
So I'm going to touch base too. You know, earlier I said in my position, I've left companies because I hired in. 2 years down the road, they hire interns in making more money than I made. So, from a different perspective, as the same kid, I come into these shops and you got 60-year-old men in this shop who have been working on this shit since it was fucking
brand new.
Yeah. Well, and 40 years old. And
right. Well, and
these guys don't want to teach you for the same exact reason that I left the company. These guys hired in for $8 an hour in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they're hiring you in at 20. These guys are pissed at you for the same exact reason that I left the company.
Mm-hmm. They're terrified that you're going to take their jobs. Don't be scared to teach yourself out of a position.
And you're making, more than they think you're making. Rightfully so. You're with these guys as an intern. Mm-hmm. You're using their tools.
Yeah.
You're wasting their fucking time. Reality, you are.
Yeah.
Especially in the shop life, because, where I was at, we were paid hourly, but we still had job like times that needed to be done in, and you got, I cannot think of what it's called, but
flag hours.
We weren't paid flag though. We were paid hourly, but we still had job estimated times of what it should take. So whether you were in that or over that, kind of depending on your hour or your annual.
So what your overall average was?
Basically.
Okay.
It's the whole deal. But anyways, So when you go into these jobs and you see these guys who don't want to fuck with you and that kind of thing, you got to understand where they're coming from also, because I've seen it firsthand. And I've had a little bit of an insight. You guys say what you want. Where my dad knew these guys, my dad had worked with these guys. These guys had known me since I was shitting green. So you say what you want, but I'm trying to give you a little bit of a loophole here.
Yeah.
That's why these guys are the way they are. It's nothing against you, personally. No. They don't give two shits. But you go in there, and we've touched on this more than one podcast. You go in there, you ask the questions. Do not go in there as some dumbass kid because you've worked on a diesel pickup or you've worked on your grandpa's tractor. Do not go in that fucking job and act like you know what's going on or that you know everything, because this fucking guy who's in his 60s will run circles around your ass, and you'll have to borrow his tools to compete with him.
Yeah, even if you do understand shit more than he does, or
be humble.
You know how to. So there's an operator that I have right now that runs one of the machines that I have, and I love him to death. He's one of those. He's one of the two operators that when he tells me there's a fucking problem, there's actually a problem. And he told me, he goes, here's the deal. He goes, I grew up and I was taught that you shut the fuck up and you sit back and you listen and you watch what's going on. And then whenever they sit down and they're like, I can't figure this out, that's when you slide up there and you go, well, have you tried this? Yeah. And then you're like, well, motherfucker, why didn't you say anything? Some bitch, you told me to sit down and shut the fuck up and not say anything. That's why I didn't say anything. And
anyway, yeah, it goes back to the money that you're making that they didn't make. Granted, you know, I vouch for the older guys. I'm right there with you guys. It's not the 60s. Times have changed. You can't live off what they were making.
No.
But you got to understand their mindset. They're there to do a job. All they want to do is retire. They've got 60 years worth of tools. You know, whatever it may be. All they want to do is come to work, do their job, and go home. And now they're stuck with your dumbass, and all you care about is fucking Snapchat and TikTok and whatever the fuck it may be. and you're going in there because
fucking nailed it.
Because of my job perspective. His is different, obviously. You come in there and you've got some diesel pickup, or you've worked on your fucking grandpa's tractor, and your grandpa didn't really. Yeah, in all reality, your grandpa didn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, and you tuned up your truck, and that's all you done. You squatted it and fucking.
And you're going in there and talking to these guys, acting like you know what you're doing, and these guys are looking at you like you're a fucking dipshit.
That's right. You got 900 fucking heads, and you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground.
So understand where these guys are at. Don't hate them.
No,
they've got a job to do, and they want to go the fuck home.
Yeah,
which is where you'll be in 3 years.
Yeah, and
because it gets old.
And if you'll shut the fuck up and listen, you'll be there even faster. And that's the thing, is that the majority of these guys are literally, they're like, listen, if I can teach you to do half of the work that I do currently, that's less work than I have to do right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I will pride myself on too. I was in the transmission shop working at Cat. My dad was still in a field truck at the time, and the old grumpy guy that it just comes to my mind every time I tell you guys what to do, or you know what you should do. When I wasn't in the shop, I don't remember where I was at. He come up to my dad and shook my dad's hand, and my dad's like, "Okay, what's going on?" He's like, "I just wanted to congratulate you, not congratulate, but I just want to tell you did a good job with that boy, because he's doing his job. He's working. He's a worker,
dude." And
that is something I will brag on. I will pride myself on that, and I will pride my dad on that.
And that's no bullshit, because the kid that is the intern that's under me right now, I want to meet the man's father.
Yeah,
I want to shake the man's hand.
I don't brag, congratulate, whatever you guys want to consider it. I don't do that on the money I make. I don't do that on the things I have, because, like I said earlier, I am the absolute worst at comparing myself to a 40, a 50, a 60-year-old man, and think that's what I gotta have. I gotta have a shop. I gotta have a house. I gotta have the land. In reality, I'm 24 and I'm fucking doing pretty all right.
But pretty goddamn good.
That is my own challenge in my head. I don't hold anybody to that standard.
Well, and I don't feel like that you really.
Well, and I know you don't, but people that don't know me, I get on here and I give a lot of advice for somebody who's 24 years old. And I just want the people who are listening to know that it's not just me being mouthy or me bragging. I've been wherever. I've been at the lowest. You know, I've lived at home. I've been at the lowest, and then I've lived at home, and I've had the fancy trucks that the chicks liked, and you know what you guys are all thinking is cool. And reality is that's not what's going to pay the bills. No. What's cool is not living at home. What's cool is not the big, flashy truck.
Yeah.
You know, reality. You know what I was building when I fucking moved out? This big pile of shit.
Right there. Sitting right there.
You know what gets all the old men's attention at the gas station?
That right
big
there.
Pile of shit. Yeah. You know, and
there was
an
old boy breaking its neck today for that fucking truck.
I completely understand where you guys are at, and that's why I push this. Sam was a young guy, you know, getting into this. It's just times have changed. I feel like I can relate to the younger generation more in this aspect of things, and that's why I push this to you guys. Tell you guys how it is. It's not that I believe I'm right 100%. I learn things just as well as he does every day. But as a kid coming up with the social media and the laziness and, you know, the Gen Z and the millennial thing like he was talking, I am putting things out there that I genuinely believe would benefit whoever's listening to this.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and it's one of those things, it's like I see it as you've always got an opportunity to advance and push yourself and go forward, but in the same respect, this is somebody, Josh is somebody that is currently in that situation. Like, he understands more than I do how it is to progress in that environment, which, you know, okay, fine. You know, I've pushed forward and I've learned that you can't be as brash and aggressive as my personality.
Yeah, you're fucking welcome here.
You can't be as brash and aggressive as I would like to be moving forward, because I'm a very cut and dry person, and Josh can attest to this. You know, if I have a fucking problem with you, I'm gonna tell you flat out, like, hey, that's kind of a shit move. What's up? And, you know, Josh will be like, whoa, that was a little forward, but like, this is what's going on. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool, my bad, total misunderstanding, we move forward. You can't do that in a professional environment. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, friendships, fine. You find somebody that's a good friend and they can understand when you're a complete asshole and they don't take it personal moving forward. You keep that friend forever. But then you have other people that aren't able to handle that bluntness, and you find out that that's not going to work out. So you have to take those opportunities and learn from them and grow and move forward. And I have to say that I am incredibly grateful for the company that I work for and the opportunities they present for that personal growth. I have had that opportunity, and I've been put in those situations where I'm like, okay, so being forward and blunt is okay, but sometimes people take that as being an asshole, and I don't intend it to be that way, but it comes across that way. So regardless, take those opportunities that you have in the company that you work for and use them to grow and learn. Like, there's gonna be some liberal shit that's gonna show up. I'm gonna throw that out there. I don't mean to get political, but there's gonna be some liberal shit that your companies are gonna do, and where you're like, whoa, wait a minute, this is not what I align with. But in the end, there's going to be some stuff that's going to be filtered through that liberal shit that is actually going to make some sense. And you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. So when I told Sally that she needed to shut the fuck up and stop being a cunt, that was probably not the most sensitive way to handle it. I should have been like, Sally, I understand that you're going through a rough patch. And that's difficult. But here's what we need to do going forward. And you can learn from that. Okay? That's an opportunity for growth. And it's not going to make you soft. It's not going to make you less of a man. It's not going to make you a leftist. But it is going to make you able to play the game. And that's something that we've talked about as well, is you have to play that game moving forward in order to progress. Period. That's what it is to it. So, I'm going to pause for a long period of time. All I'm going to say is that moving forward is, if there is an opportunity for you to grow in a leadership role or something along the lines, don't be afraid to take it on. Because there for a while, I was afraid to reach out in a leadership role, because nowadays leadership has gotten what I would call pretty soft. It's not the construction aspect to where there's been so many freaking TikToks and bullshit that have posted to where the construction world is like, if you can't wipe your ass with sandpaper and then work a 13-hour day, you're not a man.
As far as I'm concerned, if you're at work all fucking day and you're playing on TikTok, you ain't talking shit on me, because I'm at work fucking working.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned.
But if it comes down to the fact that,
You're at work fucking off and being lazy.
If you can't sit down and look at your day and be like, this is what I have learned. Which I'm not going to say you're going to learn something every day. But if you can't go a month in your current career and you can't look back and see something that you have learned, either you're not open to change or you're in the wrong position. I'm just going to throw that one out there. I mean, I think that's reasonable.
Fuck, I wouldn't give them a month.
I mean, I'm just going to say, because there's some jobs that are a little slower than others, but if you can't go a month and you can't at least pinpoint one opportunity that you were like, man, I learned something, either you're fucking up or you're not learning anything. Period.
I can agree with that.
So I think I'm going to wrap this shit up as, we always do the, if you're late, you're lost.
I got one thing I do want to throw in here.
Throw it in.
This doesn't really have much to do with this podcast episode we did. I know I'm not even going to say poke fun, because that's not the right term, but we have thrown Brother Robin in here in this podcast many times. Blink Brother Blink. You guys have known, you've seen his podcast.
Hey, man, brother.
If you guys are the praying type or anything like that, say a prayer for him.
100%.
We've seen a video on TikTok him and his wife had done, and it was really a heartfelt message.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you know him, you give everybody messes with him. Blink Brother Blink. He doesn't blink. He's slow talking.
See, the Alabama podcast, whenever he was talking about the fellow that tried to rob him at the ATM.
Yep.
If you've seen it, the man. He's good as gold.
Yeah. So we all kind of just thought it was a good old boy from the South, and that him and his wife had done this video, and it turns out he's battling Parkinson's disease really bad.
And it's
to the point he's taken 5 years of medication in 1 year and 10 years in 2 years.
Yeah.
He's as his wife says, he is, now that he's started the Alabama podcast, he's doing really good. He's got a little pep in his step, as she would say.
Yeah.
But keep him in your prayers.
100%.
He's brought a lot of smiles to a lot of people.
He's brought a lot of joy to this podcast, for certain.
For sure. So, like I said, I don't mean to bring this one down, but if you're the praying type, keep him in your prayers.
Yes,
and,
please.
Good spirits. So.
Yep. So, well, with that, we're gonna wrap this up. As if you're struggling in your job, a little more effort in it, move forward. If you're the praying,
bitch. That's all it comes down to.
Basically, hey, you're not gonna get. You don't move forward by standing still. So if you wanna get further than where you're at, you gotta put forth a little effort. If you're the praying type, pray for Brother Robert. He just seems to be. I don't know nothing about the man's life other than what he's put on the social media and what he's been on the podcast for Alabama. But his stories are as pure as gold.
He would do the same for any of you guys.
Absolutely. So say a prayer for him. If I find anything for supporting them and their family for either GoFundMe or PayPal or what have you, I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, and by any means, I don't think they were asking for handouts by any means. Not that we don't want to help them.
No.
It was just kind of an informational deal. He had started the video, and hell, we may even. It's a short link. It's a short clip out of a podcast. We can probably try to.
There you go. We can probably drop it in here at this segment in here, just so y'all get it.
It was something that he tried to make a video about and be serious with and explain, and his wife ended up having to take it over just because of the situation.
Yeah.
And, prayers for Brother Robin, and
is it Robin?
It's Robin.
Oh shit! Well, I'm terrible.
Yeah. So prayers for him, and
yep.
Hope he does all right.
Yep. So we appreciate y'all, and if you listen to this far into the podcast, we ask that you give us a like, comment, subscribe.
Give some kind of feedback. Or something you guys want to hear.
Yeah,
somebody you want us to try to get in touch with.
Absolutely.
Or somebody you want to get in touch with us. By all means, go for it, guys. We are not, just here kind of doing. We are here doing our own thing. We're winging it. We're trying to figure it out. But if any leads, anything you guys want to say, throw a topic in the comments. If you got
give us a
to
name.
Counter what we've had to say, anything.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Give us a name. And we're Living the Dream Podcast 24 at gmail.com. Send that email to whoever you think needs to contact us. We'll talk with whoever. We're about growing and educating the blue collar community. So if you think there's somebody that we need to talk to, Micro, then you go ahead and send them an email. Flood the hell out of their email with you should talk to Living the Dream Podcast and Micro. Go ahead and keep sending it to them and let them know that they should talk to Living the Dream Podcast, Micro. And it would be an absolute honor to talk to Micro. I don't know if anybody's mentioned that or not, but it would be great.
I'd be starstruck.
It would be great. We'd probably just sit here in silence and talk to him. But if that was an opportunity that you thought we needed to have on the podcast, I would more than happily interview that man.
Shit, he could interview me.
I was fixing to
sit right here and listen.
I'm fixing to say he'd probably be more interviewing us than anything. I've seen his videos with him and his mom, and the man is just a blessing on a microphone. That's all there is to it. But regardless, if you think there's anybody that we need to talk to, what have you, send us a message on Facebook, send us a message on LinkedIn, send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We are on all of the
Even
medias.
if it's personal stuff. Sam Dewitt, Josh Palmer, you
That's
guys
right.
hit us up however you want to. We need to grow this, and like I said, it's not just for us. It's for we genuinely think we could bring people in here and give you guys an opportunity to. This
isn't about us. This is about growing and educating the blue collar community. That's what this podcast was intended for, and that's what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
So,
and I think originally we were kind of more focused on it. It's just kind of gotten off track.
It really has.
Last year or so.
But we had a reset. We had a break.
And new cast, new place. I mean, we had a lot going on. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
So, this has been Living the Dream Podcast. Coors, don't be afraid to sponsor us. And we'll see y'all next week. If you're late, you're lost.